Hello, everyone, and welcome to the series analysis episode of the Seattle Baseline Podcast. My name is Julian Smith, and I'm with Alex Hong. Alex, the Mariners just got swept by the Yankees. I mean, it's plain and simple. They got way outscored. Let me know your thoughts on this series.
This was not a good series, especially after the amazing series we had against the Pirates where we gave up 0 runs. This series, to say the least, was quite the disappointment. Our pitching staff imploded. Like, it was not very good, and almost all aspects were not good. The first game, Logan Gilbert, he was playing well, and then there was a delay, and then it fell off from there.
Yeah.
We That was a bad game. In the second game, Logan Evans looked completely unmatched and not ready to go against the New York Yankees. And I mean, he is like a very young player, so it's a little understandable. But yeah, that game we kind of served no chance. Actually, in the first and the second game, our pitching staff kind of gave our offense zero chance to win the game.
Yeah.
The third game was the opposite. Brian Wu put in his best performance all season and maybe of his life. He was amazing out there, but then the bullpen completely imploded as well. So in it was we gave up so many runs to the Yankees, and the Yankees we talked about in the last episode were a very good offense, but we gave up so many runs. In the first and the second game specifically, we gave up so many runs to where our offense, which isn't built to be that good, has just zero chance. Like in the first and second game, it felt like we were just out of it. And then the last game, we had some hope, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, the second and third game, offense played great. 6 runs and 5 runs. Those are the types of run. That's the type of run support that wins the team like the Seattle Mariners. That's the type of run support that wins them games. And unfortunately, we didn't. One of them was Logan Evans. You just said it. He didn't. He seemed completely outmatched. His stuff was getting seen pretty easily, and wasn't fooling anybody. Somebody like Brian Wu with this really good fastball, somebody like Matt Brash or Andres Munoz, the way that they pitch, it's deceptive because the movement on the pitch makes it so that other players swing and miss. It's just so much movement, so much late movement that it's hard for the opposing batters to hit. It seems like with Logan Evans, he just didn't have that type of stuff, and the Yankees beat him up in the first few innings. And so, yeah, this let's see the Yankees offense also played really well. They're coming off of a 6 game losing streak, and all of those 6 games though, they scored a lot of runs, and they did that against the Mariners. The Mariners just need to I was about to say the Mariners need to score more runs. Actually, no, the Mariners don't need to score more runs. The pitching staff needs to hold them down more. This is the way that the pitching staff should be built. That's what Brian Wu did until Matt Brash and Andres Munoz blew the door open.
I mean, the process was there in that last game. We threw in our best players. They just need to perform. It's not like we threw in like the bottom of the barrel, like our worst, like just like bullpen guys out there to try to close the game. We put in our best guys. It just didn't work out. I mean, and it happens sometimes. It's baseball. Like lots of things can fluctuate. Munoz didn't have a good night, but that doesn't change what he's done all season, the amazing stuff he's done. But yeah, our all-star closer when he's out there though, and that's what he's there for. And we just need him to perform better in that situation. Our process wasn't wrong. And our offense specifically, like I can't even be mad at them because our team, like you said, is built on a really good pitching staff supporting a pretty like decent offense. And our offense played pretty well, honestly, like in the second and third game especially. And when we were talking about how our offense wasn't playing well against the Pirates, well, that's when they were scoring like 1 run. And that's like, okay, that's pretty bad. But when you're scoring like 5 to 6 runs, if we have a really good pitching staff, no matter who we're against on offense, I feel like that gives us a chance to win those games. So our pitching staff definitely needs to deliver. And that's what we rely on. This team is built on the pitching staff carrying the offense, and that just didn't happen in this series. And that brings me to another thought, how The Pirates, that team is a very good pitching staff and a really, really bad offense. The Yankees are the opposite. They're a really, really good offense and a pretty bad pitching staff. And we saw the results. We swept the Pirates and we got swept by the Yankees. And the Yankees completely just outmantled basically our pitching staff. So we definitely do better against teams, I feel like, that are not that good on offense, but have a pretty good pitching staff.
Well, I mean, keep in mind the Pittsburgh Pirates are bottom of the food chain. Um, they probably don't even sniff a wild card spot versus the New York Yankees are the top of their division. At least they were until the Toronto Blue Jays took over, and now they're the top of the wild card list. So these are teams that are at the top and bottom of the spectrum. Sure, the Pittsburgh Pirates pitching, if because Paul Skeens is there, that improves their stats by a lot, but at the same time, the Pittsburgh Pirates just aren't that good of a team versus the New York Yankees are. But I see your point where the Mariners do seem to do well against good pitching staffs and bad offenses because it keeps them in games. The This year, because the pitching hasn't been very good, the Mariners need to stay in the game in order for the offense to make sure that they get the run support to win the game. And this the the start with Brian Wu today, it seemed like we had basically what that is, which is you keep him in the game, the offense scores the amount of runs necessary to win the game, and then you close out the game with your closers. We have some of the best, not just the best closer, but some of the best top end relievers. Our middle food chain relievers, not that great, but our top Andres Munoz, Matt Brash, Gabe Spire, Edward Bizardo, those guys are very, very good. Our top end is really stable right now. But it just here's my take. Brian Wu's job, I think he did his job because his job was to close the floodgates of the Mariners. We had lost 2 games in a row, and Brian Wu's mission was to go out there and make sure that the Mariners win emphatically enough to kind of get them back into that groove a little bit before going to the Detroit Tigers series. And Brian Wu did that, but the bullpen blew it away.
Yeah, and one thing we did learn is definitely Brian Wu looks like he is our ace and the guy we are going to have to rely on this season. And funny enough, it seems to change who our best pitcher is every season, but that also shows how talented our pitching staff has the capability to be. But yeah, as we move along to this Tigers series, they are a really good pitching staff and then a very good offense as well. I mean, they have the best record in the league. I mean, they have 59 wins this season. They've done a remarkable job. So this is going to be a very tough series for us. And considering how we stand in the wild card, I'm pretty sure it should be our goal. We need to try to win at least 2 out of 3 of these games. How is that going to happen? How is that going to happen? This is going to be pretty tough. I mean, we're against a very good team. I mean, let's start with the offense for the Tigers, which is so they don't have like a super duper duper star like Aaron Judge who can single-handedly win you games, but they have a very good like balanced and like offense that is good all around. They have some players like that draw a lot of walks, such as Gleyber Torres and Spencer Torkelson. They draw a lot of walks, so they do get on base a lot. And then they have a lot of players who hit for average, and then they have a good amount of players who hit for power, like Riley Green and even Torkelson. So they've got power guys, they've got on base guys, they have average guys. I mean, their lineup is pretty good all throughout. So this is gonna be a pretty tough offense to deal with. We gotta treat every player like with basically respect, and we need to be able to pitch well all throughout the lineup. We can't just be like, okay, with once Judge is out of there, then we can kind of relax. I mean, even then, the Yankees, their entire offense was pretty good, but there's not like one player we have to really look out for. We have to kind of look out for their entire team. So do you have any thoughts?
Yeah. As you just said, the Mariners need to win 2 out of 3 of this. And that's if because the Boston Red Sox are so red hot right now. Red Sox red hot. I mean, that's pretty funny. But um actually that was pretty funny. Um, the Yankees just swept us. They're 3 games above us, and or not 3 games above us, 3 games above the final slot in the wild card spot. So the Yankees are coming back in it. The Tampa Bay Rays don't seem to be slowing down too much. It seems like they haven't had the best stretch, but they're still in it. The Boston Red Sox, red hot, and the Mariners have fallen out of the wild card spot. If the Mariners want to stay in the wild card spot, and they need to do this in order for this trade deadline to go as not as planned, but in the way that the Mariners want it to go, the Mariners need to be able to win 2 out of 3 of this series. It's not a the Mariners want to win 2 out of 3. It's a the Mariners must win 2 out of 3. Just because it's not just this team that we're facing. We're facing a boatload of good teams coming up. And if we're not in if we're not in safely in the wild card spot, this team's not good enough to make it to the World Series. And that's something that the Mariners need to make sure that they do. For the Tigers series though, the Mariners the Mariners need to be on full cylinders because the Tigers right now I think are on full cylinders. They're playing the best that they possibly can with their roster. I don't think their roster actually is that much better than the Mariners roster. I mean, considering the Mariners at its peak have the best pitching staff in baseball and then the best hitting catcher in baseball right now. We've got JP Crawford who gets on base a lot. And then Randy Rosarena, who's slowed down a little bit, but he's still really hot. And Jorge Polanco mashing the ball in the final half of the Yankee series. And so I think the Mariners have a chance of winning this series. We're facing Skubal and we're facing Mize. And so those two are going to be a threat to us. But I think in terms of if the question is, do the Mariners have a shot at a pretty solid shot at winning 2 out of 3 of this series? I think we actually do.
Yeah, I think we do, but it's just gonna be really tough. I mean, the way I see it, the Tigers, they play really well. And the thing is, I think the Mariners can compete on the Tigers level. It's just the Mariners need to play really well as well. The Tigers seem to naturally play well. The Mariners have times where, oh, this player's not playing well, this player's slumping, or the offense, this is happening, this is happening. The Tigers seem to not have those problems. They seem to be locked in and throughout the entire year. So that's how they've had so many wins this season. The Mariners, if they do lock in and or reach their peak levels, they definitely can beat the Tigers. It's just, is that going to happen? And that is a pretty big deal. So we talked about how the Tigers batting is, and it's pretty solid and well-rounded. And their pitching staff, we need to talk about that because that's going to be a very tough game to deal with. Game one against Skubal.
Yeah. And Turk Skubal is really good. And in my opinion, this is the type of player that's a relief pitcher, a super high level closer type relief pitcher that can go 7 innings, which is insane. Every 5 games, this guy goes 7 innings with premium stuff. Like imagine Andres Munoz being on the mound for 7 innings straight and giving up 1 run maybe. That's the type of player that Tarik Skubal is, and that's why he's good. I think that's what makes him good. The fact that he can he he can blast 102 miles an hour when he wants to. He has an incredible repertoire. Not deep in terms of how many pitches are in his repertoire, but all of his pitches are elite. And so the types of swing and miss that he can get from his from a few of his pitches, that's going to be a game changer in that game. But keep in mind though, the Mariners did beat Skubal at the start of the season. I mean that was the second series of the season, so it wasn't like it wasn't like Skubal was fully warmed up in the midst of a season, but we still did beat him. And I think that's something that the Mariners hold, and some sort of confidence going into this game, especially knowing that the Mariners' floodgates of a losing streak are totally like wide open right now. The Mariners need to stop this losing streak on game one. It's tough against Scooble because you're on a losing streak, your confidence is low, and you're facing the best pitcher in the league. It couldn't get harder. But at the same time, the Mariners need to the Mariners can't see this as, oh, we are facing the best pitcher in the league. The Mariners have to see this as, okay, this is a must win game. Let's go win the game.
Yeah, and they definitely need to play like that. They need to have that mentality. And if they do well in this series and win 2 out of 3, like we said, that'll really show the resilience of this team. It'll give me a lot of confidence, especially the fact that they're able to bounce back from a horrendous loss, final game loss against the Yankees, and an overall sweep for the Yankees to coming out to not dominating, but like playing really well and winning against one of the best teams in the league. But that definitely needs to happen in this series if we want to stay in the wild card race leading up and have some momentum going into the All-Star break. Do you have
Yeah.
any more thoughts on this?
And look, teams are gonna have these stretches. It's not like the Dodgers are immune to this. The best teams like the Tigers are immune to this. The Yankees just came off of a 6 game losing streak. It's bound to happen, but it's how we bounce back from that and how we can win the games that we should be winning. For example, the Yankees game where Brian Wu went 7.7 and a third innings with 100 pitches, almost basically won us the game. That's the type of game where the Mariners should be winning, and that's just it's one of those games. The Mariners lost a game that should have been won, and obviously nobody deserves anything in baseball until the last pitch is thrown. But it's you're putting in your best closers. The Mariners should have won that game, and that's all I got.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you everyone for watching. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and our beautiful faces on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, and as always, go Mariners.
Go Mariners.